Hello and welcome to the Alexandra Wenman Show from sunny Byron Bay, Australia, and I'm really excited to introduce you guys to my guest today because I've known this girl since she was born, pretty much, since she was a baby. This is my god sister. And so Justine Moran, no embarrassment. So Justine is the owner of Two in the Sun Jewellery here in Byron Bay, and so Just, can you tell us a little bit about the jewellery, how you started, and kind of, yeah, just how it began for you, really?
Yeah, well, it began when I was travelling around Australia, actually, in a van, and I've always been creative, loved doing things with my hands, and so I began making jewellery, crafting out of bits and pieces I'd find on the beach, random natural products, doing little markets, and then I grew it. It just became a real passion. I found people were liking what I was doing, and I moved more into the silversmithing work when I was over in Margaret River in Western Australia. I learnt off a man there who taught me basic silversmith skills and then I carried on from there and began learning that and self-teaching more and more, crafting more and more, and the business took off more than I ever could have imagined.
It's amazing because you how long ago did you head out to travel around Australia?
It would have been close to 3 years ago.
Close to 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And what were you doing before you left?
I was working with a company here in Byron Bay called Maikala, who were fashion, and I was doing a small amount of jewellery crafting for them, which really awoke the love of the jewellery in me. I've always done it as a pastime, but yeah, and that I got to do more and work with a company, and then Alex and I just needed some time to go and travel and see a bit more of Australia and live a simple life, so we decided to pack our van and head off.
Amazing. And we've been following your progress on Instagram.
yes
And your cute little van. So when you were travelling around, were you making and just selling on the road as you went and doing markets and things like that?
Yeah, it began just, I was making things and popping them away and thinking that'll be a gift for someone, and then really the markets began in Margaret River. That was when I properly started. When I set up a stall, I got a gazebo. I thought, okay, I'm going to do this.
Going to go to town with the jewellery. And what's your ethos behind the jewellery? Is that there's symbolism in it, or?
So everything's inspired. Everything comes naturally from my heart. I make it with my hands. I don't sort of draw it first. It comes through a really physical form for me. And the ethos, it's inspired by nature, and so giving back to nature is a big thing. So sustainable and ethical design is really important. I source materials, recycled silver, ethical stones, ethical shells, ensuring there's no destruction of reefs and marine ecosystems, and trying to minimise impact on and with any of the materials, and packagings or recycled paper. There's no plastics. I steer away from anything synthetic. And so I just want it to be an expression of me, but something that gives back to the earth as well.
Oh, it's gorgeous. And even your beautiful little stands that we've got here, these look like recycled wood, am I right?
Timber, yes.
That's gorgeous. They're so beautiful. That's so that lovely rustic vibe.
Yes. I love to do everything, as simple and light footsteps as possible. And
when did you first start in the jewellery, when you started doing the fashion over here? Were you training while you were working in Byron before you set off, or did you start at a younger age? Or
with actual jewellery, when I was very young, I used to just bead, and all through my late teens I was giving my family, all the girls in the family, beaded earrings and beaded necklaces for every Christmas, and I'd pop them away, and it was just something I loved. I'd go, when I moved to Sydney when I was 18, I'd go to the beading shops and sort through and find all the beautiful pieces and take them home, and it's just always been a love, but I didn't realise it was a
real passion, like it's become.
As much of a passion.
So in terms of making the jewellery, because obviously I think you're a bit of a channel as well, you just kind of don't know what you're going to make before you pick it up and start to make it. So what's the process?
So usually I'll have a material that I'm working with, and that's where it begins. So I might want a shell or silver, or I'll think of the moon, and then I will pick it up, play with it. That's usually how it forms, the colours, the forms, the twists in the metal. That's how yeah, it just all comes to me physically.
I think a sculptor, isn't it?
Yeah,
You're just a pure artist.
It is. I was always told in drawing, in life drawing, that I was very hands-on. There was something robust about my work. So there you go.
Get stuck in
working clay, but metal instead.
And what are some of your favourite symbols that you like to work with? Do you come back to certain symbols a lot of the time?
The moon's definitely a big one for me. Anything ocean-based, ocean, the sky. I guess it's things I'm just really in love with. Nature, anything. Yeah, the sky flexes me. You know, the sun and the
Always looking at the stars, right?
Looking at the stars, the beautiful marine life. Yeah, anything natural. Really.
And obviously we both grew up on the beach together in
Yes.
Coffs Harbour. So you used to holiday here in Byron as a child, didn't you?
Yes, all the time.
Yeah. So it's like your second home, I suppose.
Yes.
And was that what drew you back here? What made you decide to come and settle in Byron Bay?
It was after a trip away, travelling in South America and coming home, thinking it's time for a change. I'd been living in Sydney and we had Mum and Dad's house here, so what better place to come than Byron? So that's what I did. I moved up here. I actually didn't have many friends living here at the time. I just came, and what blossomed was beautiful and perfect, and I knew it was where I was meant to be.
Wow. And I have to come back to South America because I've been to South America too,
yes.
but you've probably seen more of it than me. But did you just travel around? Did you go and work with any shaman out there? What was your kind of journey?
I didn't. I met a lot of interesting people, and I learnt a lot about ceremony, but I think at that time in my life I was, what have I been, 26 or so?
Yeah.
I don't think I was ready to dive into, I was a little bit, interesting learning about it, the ayahuasca ceremonies and all that, but I didn't feel the pull to take myself there at that time.
Yeah.
So
and what about now? Have you delved into your spiritual side a bit deeper? Or?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
I've awoken things in a different way, and that trip certainly, I met amazing, inspiring people. I didn't do any physical ceremonies, but I met and
I haven't
spoke
done
with people.
I think I'd blow a gasket if I did. I always
was like, too much for me to take in right now. But so many beautiful people, and people living really simply from the land. I remember meeting a few people in Colombia, one growing coffee, but growing it while regenerating the rainforest on his land and growing the old coffee trees with the rainforest to regenerate but still be able to make the coffee and have an income off it. And, these beautiful souls just growing all their food.
See, these are the people we need to be learning from.
Exactly.
I think. It's like, I'm talking to Justine because I went on a little tour this morning with a local Aboriginal woman around this area, and who I was saying to her, I think that our governments, the governments of the world, need to be actually asking the Aboriginals and the world's Indigenous what they think.
Yes.
We need some councils set up to actually take advice from them, because they knew how to sustain the land, how to live ethically, and how to look after our planet before we came along and started raping and pillaging and conquering, and money and greed and everything took over. I think this simple way of life needs to be kind of hearkened to a little bit more.
Totally, and it's important. It's overlooked, and it's so important.
It's so important
to know what food you can eat in your garden.
I know.
That's not cultivated. While it's the knowledge is amazing.
I know. We had loads of bush tucker today.
Oh,
it was brilliant. She was like, every single plant. This is what I love as well. It's like you've got the food is the medicine. So she's like, we would make salads out of this leaf, but that would also be a painkiller or something, or that would also, and the ochre that they use to paint their faces, well, you can ingest it.
Wow.
And it actually will get rid of parasites in the body. I didn't even know that.
That's amazing.
She said the white ochre was really, really good for stomach bugs and
like
things.
the bentonite.
I guess it's a bit like the clay that you have, and skin rashes and things like that. It's so interesting.
Amazing.
So they're just like, the knowledge is just incredible, and we have it all here on our doorsteps, and we don't even know half the time we're trampling over something that is an amazing bush medicine that could probably save somebody's life one day. Who knows?
Most of us wouldn't know.
But I love those threads, the threads between the Indigenous cultures of similar stories you know, told in a different way, in different language.
Yes.
But some of the very same kind of stories of creation, and some of the same ethos, you know, and that, you know, that they had, like shrines and temples pointing in certain directions for the sunrise or the moon or the astrological omens. We spoke to a guy in the Central Coast as well, and he was telling us that the story of, in that region of Australia, they have a creator story of a guy called Biami, and he came down onto Mount Yango, and it sounds like a spaceman, this story. It's bonkers. Like, he came down onto Mount Yango, and he took a wife, and they regenerated, had children and everything, and that actually correlates with ancient Egypt. It's a little bit like the Osiris-Isis story, because they say that Orion's belt in the night sky was Biami's initiation belt. So there's so much, like, I love it. And having, like, because you've been to South America, and, you know, I've been to South America, and I've been to Mexico, and the Mayans have similar stories, and I think we need to be linking these threads up more.
There's a lot more connection than...
Yeah, and these symbols, like some of this, that, like your sun, it actually does remind me a little bit of how they draw their little Bora rings and their circles and their...
It's true, isn't it? The meeting places.
I think you're channeling, girl. I really do.
Hopefully. I do have a little bit of intuition.
Yeah. So in terms of your clientele, what sorts of people come and buy your jewellery? Do you get all sorts?
I do get all sorts, but I guess people do appreciate quality. So they, you know, they do like that it's sterling silver, and they can wear it in the ocean. They can live in it. That's a big thing. So I guess I get people from all ages. Some guys too. Some guys love wearing the pieces, which is beautiful. I love when a man comes and falls in love with a sun or a sunflower, and
getting in touch. They're getting more and more in touch with their kind of feminine, creative side, aren't they now?
It's beautiful, and mostly women, but from all age. I mean, from young girls, I get some 18-year-olds that are just in love with it, and then some older women. So it kind of speaks to a wide variation.
So what is it about Byron, though, that keeps you here?
Well, it is a magic place. The natural beauty undoubtedly is some of the most amazing in the world. It's the pristine beaches, and it's the mountains, the hinterlands so close to the ocean, the marine life. It's just gorgeous, and the living is beautiful. It's subtropical. It's never too hot, never too cold, and there's the magic from our indigenous history, and also there's a like-mindedness here that of a sustainable living. There's a lot of healthy food. There's a lot of options. There's a lot of spiritual options.
There's so many people now doing yoga and meditation.
Exactly.
I love that you've got also, like, Byron's not the only place here. Like, it's become the sort of hub, I suppose.
Yes.
But then you've got Mullumbimby, and then you've got
Bangalow
and all the different places, and then you've got up in the hills, you've got places like the Crystal Castle where you can go and do beautiful meditations and things like that. So there's so much in the region, isn't there, that you can get involved in.
There's so many workshops, so many creatives, so many amazing creatives here. Ceramics, clothing, you know, just, oh my God, it's beautiful. Food, gorgeous.
Oh, the food,
so
we
amazing.
had the Thursday food market, farmers market here.
The farmers market. There's farmers markets dotted around, like 5 a week.
That's brilliant. That's so living the dream. It does remind me a little bit of Ibiza. You know, you've got because you've got the sacred ley lines, and the land is so sacred from the Aboriginal people as well. But then you had the hippies that came here in the 70s, and now it's become a little bit more of that high-end hippie vibe, that bohemian vibe that we love so much. I mean, I'm not going to pretend I don't love that that look and that way of being, but there's more to it than that, isn't there? I suppose you get some people that, you know, skim the surface of it, and then you get the people that are really delving into their journey, and you get a real mixture of people, but it just is such a great melting pot of culture. And I love the like-mindedness of everybody here.
Yeah, there is something that has drawn people here. People come here for, you know, there's a similar reason there for everyone, even if they're there's a lot of travellers, there's people from all over the world, always here, lots of backpackers, lots of people, and everybody discovers something here, I think.
Yeah.
If you're here long enough, you have quite a journey.
Have you found your tribe here?
Yes. Whether we will stay for the long term is we're not sure.
Yeah.
Just we may end up choosing somewhere a little quieter, probably not too far away.
Yeah. And for the jewellery, is it only online, or are you planning on opening a shop?
Not at this stage, but down the track I will hope to either open a physical store or have a few more select stores who will
put them in.
But currently online, and I also do some of the select markets.
It's amazing, and it looks beautiful when you'll have to show the viewers some pictures of your markets, because it's not just about the jewellery. You're so creative, the way that you set up the space, and you've got all this beautiful recycled timber, and
I love creating a space. So it's like setting up a mini shop every time I do it.
Gorgeous. I'm just looking at some of the names of this. Moon drops, silver necklace, silver full moon necklace. Oh, the moons! I love it. It's beautiful.
We all live by the moon, don't we?
Absolutely. And the water is so important as well. Water is life, right?
The water.
So, speaking of the moon, we're going to see the full moon rise tonight, right? So, where are we going?
We're going to a little place called White's Beach, which is tucked away, a little bit of a secret spot. There's a beautiful, beautiful headland, and we're going to go out onto the edge where the cliffs go down and meet the sea and watch the moon rise up over the ocean.
I can't wait, because obviously in London we don't get to see the moon very often, or the stars, because there's usually a very thick blanket of grey cloud.
Well, we're lucky. It's so clear today.
I miss having this huge sky. Yesterday we got caught in a torrential thunderstorm. Well, we didn't get caught in it actually. Tony was like, let's go back to our B&B, and I was like, okay. So we just stepped under the awning as it started buckling up. Our ceiling was leaking.
That was a lot of rain.
That was amazing. That was like proper Aussie rain. We don't get that in England. It's just drizzle.
Buckets in half an hour, and then it's gone and it's sunny again.
I loved it. I was like a little kid. I was like, oh my god, I remember being in our first house in Coffs and pressing my nose against the window and watching the rain move across the ocean, and I miss that kind of thunderstorm. It's great.
It is
proper
beautiful.
Summer. Yeah, summer's come when the storms are here.
Is it? Yeah, it is. And that warmth, you can be in the rain and still be warm.
And
the sound of thunder, it's humbling, you remember.
Go dancing outside in it, as long as you don't get hit by lightning.
Yeah, exactly.
So in terms of your message with the jewellery, is there an overarching message that you want to share in terms of your ethos, why you created this, what you hope to do with it?
I do hope to inspire ethical purchasing, ethical consumerism. I really hope that people are inspired by the careful selection of materials and the longevity of a product, and not caught up in fast fashion. And and also can see, I hope to send the message through marine conservation and conservation of the earth as well, and that we have choices we can make every day that can affect our planet for better or for worse. So
have you thought about doing any collaborations with any conservation sort of projects? Or
I actually do. At the moment there's a local organisation called Positive Change for Marine Life who do a lot of beach cleans and a lot of education. They're also getting a lot of the businesses here to do things like remove plastic straws from their establishments and stop giving out cups that aren't reusable and things like that. So I donate to them on a monthly basis. I have since the very beginning.
That's really good.
Yeah, that was part of building a business. Even when I was tiny, was the ocean so important and inspires me so much. I'll give back what I can. And I also have a specific design called Make Waves, which is talking about make waves of change for our world. An extra $5 of that one goes straight to Positive Change for Marine Life as well.
That's awesome, because we have whole islands of plastic now floating in the sea, don't we?
Scary.
Do you know, I always think I've really started noticing how much everything you use is plastic, right? Like from our toothbrushes that we use and throw away. I've started using a bamboo toothbrush. Although I was a bit annoyed because I ordered it and it arrived in the post in a plastic bag, and I was like, no, what's the point? Come on, it's just like defeats the object.
Yes.
But even contact lenses, like I use monthlies, but on Instagram there was this free like try these dailies, and I did a trial. They've hooked me in. I need to cancel it because now they're starting to take money, but they're dailies, and I'm like overwhelmed with the fact that every day I'm putting a contact lens in and throwing this little plastic thing, and they're not compostable. Like you can get compostable plastic and biodegradable plastic now, and there's so many companies just not doing it. It's all petroleum based, so
because it's cheaper and they're just not
interested in making money, aren't they?
Yeah, it's crazy. That's where it's got to change, but that's where we do hold the power as a consumer.
People like this woman as well,
as a business and as an individual. When we choose what we buy, we basically, I can't remember whose quote it was, but she said we cast a vote for what sort of world we want to live in every time we make a purchase, and it's true. It's
100% true. Yeah, it really, really is.
And it's tricky for a business. I battle the post system myself because I insist on using my recycled paper padded bags to send in. And constantly I'm told, no, you need to put it in this plastic satchel. And constantly I say, no. I'm not using that because I'm not using the plastic. So I'll just pop a sticker on here. But it's a battle because we're just conditioned to go with the quick and easy way. So
and they change the protocols all the time, don't they? And it's just the way it's done, I always say that we need to question everything.
Exactly.
Always.
It's healthy.
Yeah.
Teach our kids and teach our, it's healthy.
Be like a kid. The kids are always like, but why?
Exactly.
But why?
They're the ones in touch.
Exactly. So, in terms of how people can get hold of you and order your beautiful jewellery and have a look at more of what you do, how can they get hold of you? What's your website?
So the website is TwoInTheSun, TWO, inthesun.com.au, and Instagram. I do update on Instagram quite a bit. It's just TwoInTheSun, TWO in the sun, and Facebook as well.
You're on Facebook too?
Channels at the moment, also TwoInTheSun on Facebook.
Amazing. If you follow Justine on Instagram, you'll see some of her amazing adventures. If you scroll back, you'll see her cool van and back in time.
Cool old van.
Yeah, follow the journey. So it's you and your partner Alex, is that right?
Yeah.
That's amazing. He's got a great name.
Yeah, of course.
Brilliant. Justine, thank you so much for talking to me today.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure.
Fantastic.
I'm going to peruse this. I'm going shopping now, everybody. Sorry, it's not a, what do you call it, info channel. You're not on QVC. But I am, no. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, everybody. And
thank you. It's been a pleasure.